Hi, thanks for joining me. So, doing an anime I watched video today. For starters, we have Parallel Duel. This was something you might have seen in my pickups not so long ago, and this I was really excited about. This is it says right on it, from the creators of Tenchi Muyo, and I'm a big Tenchi fan, and I've been catching up on some stuff, especially by them, like El Hazard, that I watched recently. I really liked it. This is really well reviewed on Amazon also, so really stoked about this. Long story short, I did not like this. Now I was clued in by somebody who commented on my video when I picked this up, where they said, "Oh, it's Tenchi Evangelion," or something like that, and they're right, and this wasn't good. As far as I'm concerned, it, I think what it does, I think I'm going to be pretty fair, with things that are derivative. For instance, like Lily Cat. I seem to remember my verdict on that was that it was alright, and I was glad that I watched it. It was derivative, kind of highly derivative of the first movie in particular, Alien. The Aliens movies, but it did bring something new. I don't think it was quite enough to really make it stand on its own as much as I wanted, but it was pretty good still. It was worth checking out. Parallel Duel, on the other hand, I think it apes Evangelion in a way that I think it is basically just harder to forgive. I think I kind of get it, when anime is looking at Hollywood movies and going, oh, let's take this and then do our own thing with it. I mean, it's at least, transferring over mediums, but Duel is just aping other anime, so it's not even crossing these medium boundaries. And Evangelion was what, 4 years maybe before this came out. Not all that much time had even gone by, and Duel, it just feels like it's ripping it off. It's just you get shots that are just like shots from Evangelion. You get color schemes. You'll see the bits of background that just look like they're just scenes from Evangelion. You could just take some shots right from Duel and just put them in a article or something out of context, and you would think you were watching Evangelion. I didn't like how that came off. And it's not to say that Parallel Duel didn't have some unique elements to it, but just every time I ran into something that seemed like it was wholesale, just ripped from Eva, it bugged me, and I had to stop watching it. I did give this 7 episodes. I got through 2 of the discs, so that was half of the whole series. And once I got to that point, I was just kind of like, that's enough. I really, I don't need to watch the next 2 discs. I don't do that a lot, but I do that sometimes. I did that with Tenchi Muyo War on Geminar, so that can happen even with this crew. They do really good stuff, but this was a miss as far as I was concerned. So I definitely personally would not recommend Parallel Duel. But I also watched this here, which I picked up pretty recently from Goodwill. This is Zaion, I Wish You Were Here. And I picked up the 2nd volume of it because after I watched the 1st volume, I wanted to finish it up. This was pretty good. I placed this as kind of in that anime boom period. And, it feels to me almost kind of similar to Blue Gender and some other stuff too that I do sort of wonder if, I think around that time animation studios were looking to the West a little bit and going, let's make some things that will appeal to a Western audience, because they sort of saw that we were starting to really consume this stuff. So it almost feels to me like this was the kind of thing that they thought that we would really like. And whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I guess I didn't dislike it, and I thought it was pretty good. So maybe they were onto something. It's it's not gonna like knock your socks off or anything, but what I like about it, I guess, is just that it's an original story. It's not based on anything, which you see less of these days from animation, from Japan, and it's a totally competent short story. I think it does the things that it needs to do. It establishes a world. It's pretty interesting. You got these guys with these like nano machine suits, basically, that they can end up in, and they're fighting against. It almost feels more like aliens, but it's essentially it's kind of almost like zombies in a way, and but the world building is pretty cool. And then you have, the story with the characters and stuff. There's a little bit of a love story. There's some character building. And it's not, it's like a little subtle, but, there's some decent action. There's some decent drama. I just like it. It's really competent, basically, and that made it enjoyable for me, where I'm like, okay, I didn't spend a lot on this. I think total it was like $13, and I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't have any major expectations for it, so I got to just really appreciate it for what it is. And another thing is that it does have a soundtrack by Kenji Kawai, and I feel like I should do a whole video about him sometime in anime and games, but suffice to say, the soundtrack's actually really unique on this. I don't actually like it all that much, interestingly enough. I normally like his stuff a lot, but this was really progressive rock inspired, and I'm not really a prog rock fan, but it's definitely interesting, so that's another cool aspect of this. So I kind of liked that one. Zaion, I wish you were here. Next up, of course, I watched some Urusei Yatsura, and I'm not going to dwell on these a lot, but I watched another 4 discs in the series. So, interestingly enough, I'm actually getting pretty close to the end. I think I have only 5 more discs in the TV series to finish up. Now, I do still have all of the OAVs and all the movies, because I haven't been watching those as I've been watching this. But I still love this. I'm not going to go through each of these episodes, but just see if I can remember any of these ones that were really fun. Let's see here. Ten's Operation Eel and Rice. Oh yeah, there's one where Ataru ends up throwing a rice cooker at Lum and hits her in the head, and then she forgets how to speak English, so she only speaks the like alien language. That one was kind of interesting. I'm trying to remember what sort of the punchline of that one was. A group of hungry students and an extraterrestrial bull meet in a wacky culinary battle and take this food and eat it. That one was really cool, actually. They these aliens drop a bowl. It's like all the students are hungry because teacher Onsen is like making them stay late to do extra classes, and they had to skip lunch. So they're able to wish for whatever sort of food they want, and it just magically comes out of this bowl. So then they all have to like kind of agree on what to wish for and then eat it or something. So but they keep like nobody can agree, and everybody wants to eat stuff. So it becomes this huge food mess. It's a funny episode. I really like that one. There's an exciting head air conditioner too. Blood, Sweat, and Fear descends on Tomobiki when the students find a unique way to cool down. That one was kind of fun because it's sort of like, I get the impression that it's like Zen Buddhism or something, where like you have to meditate in a way where you're sort of excising all worldly thoughts, and like the Buddhist monk will come and whack you on the shoulder or something with a stick if he thinks that you're that you're not concentrating hard enough. And so in this one, this happens with Lum has these blocks of ice that'll hang over your head, and the same sort of thing happens if you don't stay calm. Like the ice comes down and knocks you in the head. That one was actually really funny. There were a lot of these were really good, actually. I definitely had a lot of fun with these. One where Ryunosuke is trying to wear a bathing suit again. That's the girl that was raised as a boy. Yeah, so just a bunch of fun stuff. I really just love Urusei Yatsura. If you guys haven't seen any of it, I mean, it's unfortunately it's like a really long series, and like I said, it's a little hit or miss too. You can't really win them all, but it's really worth watching. And 50 DVDs total, so only 5 more left to go. We'll see where I get with that. Next up is something that I bought recently. The first Blu-ray set of Sailor Moon. This is, I think, 23 episodes. There's Blu-rays and DVDs in here, and yeah, there it is. This is the first half, I guess, of the first season, I guess, of the box. I don't know, it seems like a season should be about 23 episodes, but however they determine what the season is. And anyway, I watched the whole thing because, why not? It's Sailor Moon and it's fun. So interesting thing about this, I was checking out reviews on Amazon, and there are a lot of really positive reviews. There's a few negative reviews though, and it seems like some of the negative ones are saying that the video quality on this was like Viz messed with it, and they were unhappy. So I've read through a little bit of what they were saying, and I ended up watching more of this, and I think they're kind of right. I'll leave it up to you guys to maybe check some comparison screenshots or something, but basically what it boils down to is and I don't know how the DVD is because I didn't watch it, but I watched the Blu-ray. I thought it looked great. I put it in and I'm like, oh wow, this looks good. And it's like the Space Adventure Cobra. Those are on DVD. Those aren't even Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure. And when I popped those in, like for old animation, it's amazing looking. It's really nice. And so I think that they managed to make this older animation like look really good. It kind of pops, and I'm like, oh, this. It doesn't really feel like you're watching old animation. It feels like you're watching. It does feel like you're watching old animation, but it feels like you're watching it on Blu-ray. It feels like a new experience. But the gripes were that they basically used some sort of digital, post-processing or something, some digital enhancement to give the video this look. And that what happens in that, it's like applying a Photoshop filter and you lose some detail. Suffice to say, as I was watching this, the two things, that and ghosting, is something that they said happens. And, while I was watching this, it was a little distracting because I did notice some spots where I'm like, that does look like some detail was lost. If you look at the comparison screenshots, I think between the before and the after, that the after looks much more modern, it looks enhanced and just better. And I think, in comparison, I have on Blu-ray, I got the Japanese version of Ghost in the Shell on Blu-ray, and that's sort of just a standard, 1-to-1, here's just the film on Blu-ray. And, you get all the grain, it looks really old, and I like having it. I'm really glad to have that version of it, but I wouldn't mind a version that was enhanced like the way that Sailor Moon was enhanced, It's a compromise, but I think that it's one that's worth making. So just with that caveat, really liked Sailor Moon. I will say, it was a little disappointing every once in a while, just going, ooh, I started to see that little bit of ghosting. I think I get what that is and what that means. There was maybe just 1 or 2 little frames where I was like, ooh, that maybe got a little, lost some detail due to that filtering, but I thought it really looked great, and it was so much fun. I need to watch some more of the new stuff to kind of compare it to the old stuff, but man, the new stuff now, after seeing the old again, the new stuff reminds me almost more of the live action Sailor Moon, if you guys watched that at all. It's more condensed, it's more focused on sort of these main story bits of Sailor Moon, and it feels to me like girlier in terms of like it feels more like Twilight really than Sailor Moon. Like this original series, it feels more like a Go Nagai series almost, where like you really feel that Cutie Honey influence to it. Not that I've actually even really seen the original Cutie Honey. I'd kind of like to, but I'm thinking more like the newer new Cutie Honey and stuff like that. It, the enemy designs and even I really feel like this TV show, I almost felt like it was made a little bit more for a male audience than than I even ever thought. You think of it as kind of a girls show, but it really, I almost think it's almost made to appeal to guys. Anyway, I enjoyed it a lot. It was really fun to watch this again. I like the whole flow of it. I like the enemy of the week thing. I like just the goofiness. It's fun. The first handful of episodes I didn't remember very well, but after Ami shows up, Sailor Mercury, I remembered most of those episodes. So I think I started watching this series again, maybe from that point a while back. But anyway, it was really fun to revisit this. Really easy to watch these 23 episodes. It took me like a few days. And I definitely enjoyed it. So I'm really looking forward to getting more Sailor Moon, and definitely between no Sailor Moon and this Sailor Moon, I'm definitely happy with this Sailor Moon. Your mileage may vary, but I really enjoyed it. The last thing I'm going to talk about is something from Crunchyroll. And I don't know that I really intended to watch any Crunchyroll because I'm working on this DVD and Blu-ray backlog, but I like popping it on every now and then, and I ran across this thing that I just haven't been able to stop watching. I did not know what to make of it at first. It kind of reminded me of oh gosh, what's that show called? It's like say something Yakuindomo, I don't remember what it is, but it almost reminded me of that a little bit because it is just a little, that was really like sort of all about dirty jokes. It was almost a little raunchy. This isn't really as much, but it's a slice of life about people working in a comic book shop, but it's like a doujin shop, so it's all sort of those like a whole bunch of the fan-made comics. I think it's really based on Toru no Ana in Akiba, which I've been to before several times, and my memory's a little foggy because it's been quite a while. But I know you can get doujin there. I think it's like a couple floors, but I'm pretty sure they have like a floor with regular manga and a floor with like anime on it and that sort of thing. I don't remember exactly, but anyway, so this is essentially a slice of life comedy about like people that work at Toru no Ana, except anyway, the name of this is Denki-Gai no Honya-san. So Denki-Gai being like Electric Town, sort of like Akihabara is called. So it's the Denki-Gai no Honya-san, which is like a bookstore. So it's like the bookstore in Electric Town, and it's hysterical. I've really been enjoying it. Like I said, the first episode I was just like, what am I watching? But you basically have all the characters are known by like their nicknames, kind of. So you have Sommelier, who's like he will help you choose the perfect manga for you to read. You've got Fu Gauru, who is I think it's sort of a like a spoof on Fujoshi, which is like sort of like Rotten Girl. That's sort of what the girls that are like really otaku-ish and into like especially the BL sort of boys love kind of stuff are nicknamed, and so they call her Fu Gauru, Fu Girl, and but she isn't necessarily. She might be into that stuff, but it's also sort of a play on that, where like I think the Rotten is more in terms of like she's really into zombies. It's really weird, but anyway, it's just great. One of the characters is an aspiring manga artist, and she draws doujins. So you end up with a lot of little storylines around that. But you just, it has this great sense of humor, and especially if you're into comics or into drawing comics, or you have those funny exchanges between characters where, like, one character's misunderstanding really inappropriately what some of the other characters are saying. Like, the one character, like, is talking about showing her manuscript to this one guy who really, like, when he finds out that she's this manga artist, he's like, "Oh my god, I'm your biggest fan," And, they start getting kind of closer as the series goes on, and she's like, they're having this whole conversation about him seeing her, and, like, there's just so many awkward, funny, hysterical scenes in that show. It's been cracking me up for days and weeks here. So anyway, I highly recommend that Denki-Gai. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It even has, like, a quirky intro song that it's completely grown on me now that we're up to episode, 5 or something like that. So that is the anime that I've been watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll join me again for more video game and anime related videos. Thanks for watching.